Hello everyone, this is Charles here with MTCScreens.com. We're going to show you how to replace the delaminated display on your Freightliner chassis RV. This is the 12-inch medallion built unit that has a tendency to delaminate or have a glue leaking appearance after a few years behind the glass. It looks really terrible, and if you go to the dealer parts desk for your RV, you'll find that it's over $6,000 for a replacement display unit. However, you can order a refurbished display unit from MTCScreens.com, and we'll go ahead and show you how to drop that in here. It's very simple for a do-it-yourself job. There's no programming needed. There's no dealer visits, and it's just a matter of just a couple hand tools. So first off, this top vinyl cap just pops right off on this particular example of RV. This is a Newmar. It just lifts off from the Velcro. If you have a different brand of RV, it may be a little bit different, but typically these should be pretty similar in terms of how they're installed to the dash. So the first step is we're going to remove 4 nuts and washers that hold this bezel in place. I use a deep well 11/32 socket. It wouldn't be a bad idea if you had a magnetic socket to prevent anything from falling behind the dash. You want to be very, very careful when you loosen the nut in the washer to not allow it to fall into the dash. It could rattle. It'll be difficult to find. As you can see, there's a lot of wiring back here. So this is also connected with an Ethernet cable. A single Cat6 Ethernet cable sends your video signal, and that comes from your RV computer. So all your gauges, your hours, that's all going to be preserved. All we're doing is replacing the display here. It's kind of like replacing your monitor for your home computer or your TV. It's just going to display whatever's being sent to it. So very carefully reach back here and remove the 4 nuts and the washers from these threaded posts, these threaded studs, and they're going to be only hand tight or possibly finger tight. You don't need a tool for these, just that socket is enough to remove those nuts. And again, do not drop anything here. It might be kind of tight clearances. You can try and access the bottom 2 from the bottom, or just reach down from the top. It is very tight clearance, and once those four nuts and washers are out, this bezel will lift forward and come away from the dash, and that's going to expose 4 3/32 hex examples. Now, it may be a little bit different if in your particular RV, but you can just take a look. But this is kind of a general overview for this model. So we'll want to remove the screws. I left one in place here just because there's a plastic ring that kind of sandwiches the display to the dash. I left that in place just so we don't have to drop it or anything. And I loosened it enough to slip that display out from the top at an angle. You can see the Ethernet connection, just like your computer Ethernet Cat6 cable is removed. We'll take the nice new refurbished display. This is the Anti-Delamination Design from MTCScreens.com. It'll go back in the same way. We're going to just slip it in through the top and sort of sandwich it between that plastic rectangular ring that holds it secured to the dash. So the cutout in the back of the display will fit inside the ring, and you can kind of lift it in place and align it so that all the screw holes are going to be lining up. And once that's done, I'll just retighten the screw that I left in place. That made it a little bit easier to align the display, having that screw left in place like that. And then what that's doing now is bringing that ring close to the dash and squeezing the display in place. So that's good there. Just finger tight. You don't need to overdo it with this. It's going into vinyl. We don't want to tear the vinyl or damage anything. Go around, kind of evenly tighten the 4 screws. It's a plastic bracket. Don't over torque it. And then your display is going to be nice and secured and tight to the dash. After that, you can plug the Ethernet connection in. It just snaps right into place. There is a tab to remove it, but it operates like a networking cable. Plug that back in, and it doesn't hurt to do a test run to make sure everything's operating properly there. You can see the factory gauges and hours and all of your settings are preserved with a nice anti-delamination new display. So with the display mounted, we'll put the bezel back in. Again, carefully go around. Don't drop the washers and nuts into the dash. Take your time here. And just gently go around. Also on this one, this is a sort of a plastic or fiberglass bezel that The studs, or the threaded studs, are just held in place with epoxy, so no need to over tighten those. I wouldn't even use a tool, just use the socket and tighten it finger tight for all 4 of these nuts. Evenly go around and keep this thing, this bezel in place. Just like that, you can see how it's mounted there with the washers. And the nuts were 11/32 in size. So on this Newmar model. So we checked everything out. Everything looks good. Everything's functioning properly. It's nice and secure. We'll do one final test run. If you want to purchase this refurbished display unit, it's the Medallion Viper 2 unit from mtcscreens.com. You can check that out on our website. We have these available. Very simple process. You order this display, it gets shipped to you, and then you send the old delaminated unit back with a core exchange label that's provided at checkout. mtcscreens.com. Thanks for watching.